Right guys, welcome back. So it's very, very simple. I know it's going to shock many of you. I know I've told you to change your engine oil, but I'm here to tell you why you should never, ever, ever change your engine oil on your BMW. Right guys, so the reason I'm doing this video is because there is still a lot of stupid people out there who seem to be under this assumption that they can just change their engine oil to whatever they feel like. Not only that, they have no care for what the manufacturers tell them to use, and the manufacturers know best because they make these engines. These people will put in whatever they can get hold of and whatever's available, whatever they think they want in their car. And a lot of people advise people very, very incorrectly. I had a guy on TikTok who messaged me who said that his mechanic in Iran had told him to run this oil. Now, if you can see here, this is a motorbike oil. Now, he actually went and purchased this. And when he told me Motul, now I know Motul do car engine oil, but apparently, because BMW's rev so high, he's told him to use 10W40 in his engine, because apparently that's what everyone seems to say to use on the M52, B25s, B23s, and the B30s, which, as many of you guys know, is incorrect. But this is what he's put in: 10W40 motorbike oil, purely because BMWs rev high. And because it's a high revving engine, they're under the assumption they can go and use a motorbike oil in their BMW. Now, this oil isn't cheap by any means. Now, obviously, 10W40 is obviously fine, but it's also going to damage your BMW engine if you use this in it. This is the same for this other oil, which is this one right here. Now, many of you guys would have seen this before. 10W60, this is a famous one. This is a very, very famous one for many, many people with BMWs, all BMWs who choose to use this. This oil should only be used in M cars and M5s. Okay? This should not be used in M52s, N54s, N43s, N53s, N46s, B48s, B58s at all. This oil is what is destroying most of your B58 engines, your head gaskets, your solenoids. A lot of the issues you are having on your B58 and your M52s and your M54s is from using this oil. I ask all of you to please stop being so thick and ignorant. Please read up the specific oil for your car. BMW and nobody would ever recommend this. This is for performance engines only, like Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and M cars. Not for your average N-series engine. Do not use this oil. And I'm going to tell you what this oil will do to your engine. So if you don't know, when you use 10W60 in a wrong engine, for instance, if I put 10W60 in an M52, this is going to really, really damage this engine. Not only is it going to cause reduced lubrication, because it's so thick, it's not going to be able to lubricate around the engine properly upon cold. Okay? Now, nobody wants to wait forever for a car to come up to temperature to be able to start going fast. With 10W60, I don't think you guys understand. With no oil temp gauge, with no temperature gauge on your car, which most BMWs don't come with, you cannot see when that oil's come up to temperature. That is so crucial when running 10W60. It's so important that you know when that car is up to temperature. 10W60 also increases your oil pressure because it's a much thicker oil, okay? You do not need to increase the oil pressure on this car, and this is why so many of you who message me saying you've got high oil pressure light coming on, the oil pressure light or low oil pressure is from running them oils. I am asking you all, please, please stop running them oils. That is not the only problem. The next one on them is they will cause wear on the engine because it cannot lubricate and protect the engine enough, which will cause all your engine parts inside to literally wear out super, super quick because it is not lubricating them because the oil is too thick from cold to lubricate anything properly. The next one on them that you're gonna have with using a thick oil is increased friction and heat. So you're gonna cause the engine is gonna have friction. because it cannot be properly lubricated. It can't get into all the galleries in the engine, which therefore means it is not protecting the engine properly. And the galleries are so important because, as many of you guys know, the bearings have a certain clearance. The thicker the oil, it means it cannot get through them galleries, which means it cannot protect them bearings properly. If it cannot protect them bearings, you have a very, very big problem, which means you can literally damage your crankshaft, your bottom end, your bearings, your cylinder walls, all your camshafts, your lifters, your valvetronic system. It will damage everything. It can also flood your solenoids on your BMW because the oil is too thick, and that's why many of you end up with solenoid issues, many of you on the M54, because you're all trying to run a thicker oil. No 5W50, no 10W60, it is 5W30 or 5W40. Do not run anything thicker. There is so many of you that are trying to do that, and then there's so many of you trying to run an even thinner oil. You will run 0W30 or 0W40. Do not run that kind of oil on these engines. You have the potential for such a high engine failure using the wrong oil. You do not understand that. You never ever use that oil on these BMW N series engines or B series engines. I have heard of people running 10W60 on their B48 engine because as soon as it's tuned, the tuners will tell them to run a thicker oil. Do not be telling people this crap, please, because most of these people that are coming for tuning know nothing about the mechanicals of a car. And most of these tuners have no experience and nothing to do with mechanical side of dealing with engines or knowing how an engine runs. All they do is remap in a car. They have no care for you once you leave that place, once your car has been tuned. They do not care for you. They'll tell you to run whatever. They could even tell you to run water in your engine, and most of you would believe them. If they said to you that they run water in their engine, you guys would actually believe it and go and run it too. Do not believe everything you see and read. Do not run motorbike engine oil in these engines. And the reason a guy run that as well is because apparently in Iran, on the Porsches, some people actually run that. Now, something I never knew. That is completely wrong. Do not run motorbike engine oil. 10W60 is for the M cars. M3s, M5s, you can run 10W60. Do not be running that on a B58. Do not be running that on an M55. Do not be running that on an M54. Do not be running that on a B37. Do not be running that on a B38. That is why most of your timing chains go out. You are running too thick of an oil, which the chains are not being lubricated properly because the oil is too thick. And you guys are hammering these cars around from cold without knowing if the oil is up to temp, if your coolant is up to temp, and the oil is so thick. Trust me what I'm telling you, 10W60 takes a very, very long while to come up to 90 degrees Celsius on the oil temp, or even 100. It takes very, very long. It takes a good 10 to 15 minutes to come fully up to temperature, okay? And none of you guys have the patience to wait 10 to 15 minutes to drive these cars properly. That is an absolute fact. And especially if you're idling them for long periods, that oil will damage your engine. So please avoid using that oil. The only oil I recommend to go up to, if your car and the manufacturer states on your engine 5W30, upgrade to 5W40, which is that right there. You do not move up to anything else. 5W40 is the only oil you should be using on your M52, N54. And you need a more stable oil for the temperatures of these engines. These engines run a lot hotter. BMW knew that. They recommended 5W30. The reason they did that is so the oil disintegrates quicker, which means you constantly have to top up, which is one of the reasons why they got out of this long service schedule. For instance, telling you to service it every 10,000 miles, because why? The 5W30 oil will drink so quick that every 1,000 miles you're topping it up, so you're constantly putting fresh oil in it, so there was never no need. But it's all crap. Use 5W40, your oil will not move at all from the max line. Change it every 5,000 miles. I guarantee you, you will have no issues with oil. Do not be using anything else. Please, guys, if you want to wear out your engine, you want to damage your engine, by all means, go for it. But I know there's many of you guys with B58, all these turbocharged engines that go and use 10W60. That is not the oil for your car. You do not have an M car. And I'm going to tell you again, you do not have an M car. Stop trying to make yourself believe you have something you don't have. You have an N54 engine. You have a B58 engine. You do not have the S58 engine, and neither do you have the S65 engine. You do not have an M car, okay? You have your standard N54. You do not have a S58. You have a B58. So stop treating it like it's something it's not. If you want to run them type of oils, buy yourself a proper M car. But do not be using anything else other than this. This is the highest you should go. 5W40 is more than enough for all these N series engines and also the B series engines. So there you have it, guys. And you know, I know many of you will say, why does this guy care? And you know what? I don't even know why. I think it's because I care so much about the brand and about the engines, and I care about the name being tarnished. And when people use the wrong oil, it makes the engine grenade from user error. And that's why I get so angry, because then these people say BMW's unreliable when it ain't unreliable, it's them making it unreliable. And so I have to care. I have to protect the brand, to protect the name, because the brand is not unreliable. It's the people owning them and buying them that make them unreliable. And I have to treat people constantly as if they don't know what they're doing and they are a newbie to BMW, because if I don't, they will still make this same mistake over and over again. And then they will still riddle the forums and riddle everywhere with BMW's unreliable, when it simply ain't. It's the people that own them make them unreliable, because they don't do their research or follow what the manufacturer state in the manual. That is the issue. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And as I said, never use that oil in your BMW. Thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.